Hello and welcome to another episode of the ADickDid podcast with your host, Jake. Next week it is going to be host and co-host, Jake and Marcel. We are going to go into a two-host podcast because I am seeing a runway with me doing this alone. I know there are a lot of successful podcasts run by a single person, and I'm sure there is a way I could make it work. I think you will get a better quality product if I introduce someone to bounce ideas off of, if I have another voice to give you some content. Uh, Other than that, let's just get into some other things. We are still doing our YouTube stuff every day of the week except for Saturday and Sunday. Monday ranked. Tuesday, we haven't started our story thing, but I actually have a new idea that I want to experiment with, and which is the sucky part of having these like million different ideas to work with is what am I gonna do? Tuesday could be story mode, or I'm thinking of doing a different game every Tuesday and never play the same game. So like we'd have to really get into like the fucking Garfield kart racing games and like the fucking Super Meat Boys and like just start randomly doing all these one-off games, I guess, every week. I think that would kind of be interesting, just to gain an idea of what people want to watch, and then maybe I can make another like a Saturday thing that's based on that one game that people really enjoyed. Um, Other than that, I've also been working on the TikToks. My frickin' one sec. My TikTok is wrath underscore of underscore Lazarus, or wrath of Lazarus. Lazarus should be able to find me. I have not tons. I have a couple of gaming clips up, a couple of real life clips from before I did all the content creating stuff. My YouTube is at Raising Lazarus, and that is for all the Halo gameplay stuff so far. Other than that, let's get into the episode and check out our Google Doodle for the day. We have no Google Doodle. None. Wow, that's boring. Let's click that I'm feeling lucky button. Chandler Bing. Oh man, played by Matthew Perry. Rest in peace. What a thing to have pop up is the I'm feeling lucky. That's a very unlucky feeling. I wonder if he had any addictions. And it appears as though Matthew Perry did indeed have a substance abuse addiction for alcohol and opioid abuse, prescription drug use. That's pretty disappointing to hear, and I hate to like bring that up after he just passed. But our story is about addiction, and I am here to find the truth. I'm not here to sugarcoat shit. Uh, well, I'm sorry to uncover that for all you. Kind of hurts a little, but it's true. People get addictions, and that was I'm feeling lucky for the beginning of this episode, and I do not feel lucky after that segment. And that segment's supposed to date this podcast. It didn't do anything for dating today. Today is the third, the third of the first, the third of the first month, January 3rd. What a warm, sweet welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to the ADickDid podcast, where I bring up bad things about celebrities that people loved. Fuck. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna skim on past that, and we're gonna go into my current addictions, and we're gonna do a little self-judgment on me, give a little update in my addiction life. Currently, still having issues with sex addiction, porn, stuff like that. It's it's something that like day to day doesn't seem like it's a big deal until like 3 weeks have passed and you realize you've jerked off every day for 3 weeks or some shit like that. I I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me when it comes to that. That is something I'm struggling with again, and I wish I could move on from that and focus on these projects in my life. Uh, Alcohol is currently falling out of addiction category, I feel like. I don't feel like I need a drink every night. I don't really crave it anymore, but I do like an occasional drink. So that's kind of an interesting place that I've fallen into with that because I used to have very bad drinking issues, and once I started drinking, it just got worse and worse and worse. And I genuinely thought it was going to get really bad when I drank that like half a bottle of Jim Beam playing Halo with Marcel one night. But it actually turned out okay. Like I'm not craving it right now, and I guess that's a good sign, right? Uh, Weed. I'm still smoking weed frequently, almost multiple times a day, and I'm not sure if it's an addiction or it's literally just a crutch at this point to help me get through my life. I don't know if I need help or not with that. That's just something we're gonna have to take day by day and see what happens next week. Uh, Being a dick, that will always be the biggest addiction to me. I still every day do something to be a dick. The other day I was working at my day job. I was blanking some blank, and a unknown associate comes up to me and says, or a very known associate comes up to me and goes, "Hey, can one of you relieve me for my break today?" And I'm like so sick and tired of him taking his own breaks and then getting us to come do his job while he doesn't do it. So I said, "Hey, why don't you go ask one of the other people who are already on break if they can give you a break? Because I'm in the middle of working. Fuck off." And he goes and he does that, and then another well-known associate comes up to me later and goes, "Hey, you stole my fucking move. It's my move to tell him to go find someone else to give him a break." And I'm like, "Well, here we are. It's everybody's move now. Get fucked." Anyways. To get into the meat of this episode, episode 11, the final episode of season 1. As we go into season 2, I think the format's going to shift a little bit. We're going to do a little bit more like idea brainstorming, a little more specific storytelling from me and my co-hosts past. Uh, but going into season 2, I just hope you'll bear with me because things are going to be a little weird for a while until we get that floating well. Today's episode is going to be like the death episode. How many people die from addictions, stuff like that. Something I don't remember covering anyways in the previous episodes. I'll go over the statistics of like how many people are addicted or like in these scenarios in this. But I don't think I've ever specifically sat down and told you the numbers for how many people die yearly due to this stuff. And because this is the death of season 1, we are going to go over the deaths of alcohol and drug use and some other stuff. Starting with alcohol, the Alcohol Related Disease Impact Application estimates that each year there are more than 140,000 deaths, approximately 97,000 male deaths and 43,000 female deaths attribute to excessive alcohol use, making alcohol one of the leading preventable causes of death in the United States behind tobacco and poor diet. Uh, I'm not saying we need to be keeping more people on this planet for longer. We already have a small enough planet with too many fucking people on it. But knowing that there's that many deaths from alcohol is extremely depressing. It's in it's wild to think that that many people are dying from something that could so easily be moderated and controlled better, but our current population is not prioritizing or concerned in that matter. Wow. Let's move on to drugs. From specifically, we'll do illegal, not prescription drugs kind of stuff. I'm gonna be completely honest. Now that I'm looking at this page, I feel like I have gone over this topic a little bit before, because this graph looks extremely familiar. 96,700 people approximately die from drug overdoses in a year that will not break down between illegal drugs and prescription drugs. 72% of uh, are opioids, so opioids are a factor in 7 out of 10 overdose Those could be prescription and non-prescription, obviously. 1 million drug overdoses have killed almost a million people since 1999. That is after I was born, so I am fucking old. More than 4 times as many people died from drug overdose than from homicide in the first month of 2021. Wow. So basically, more than 4 times as many people committed suicide than homicide in the first month of 2021. I'm gonna guess that that's the case. I'm sure there are cases of drug overdoses where people were given drugs they didn't know they were gonna get. I'm sure there are like exceptions from that rule, but I would beg to differ that majority of those drug users are choosing to use those drugs. So I would consider that 4 times as many suicides as homicides. Please, in the comments, argue with me or tell me your opinion. I guess don't argue with me. Tell me your opinion. I'm curious if I'm being insensitive or something. 96,000. Man, this is all fucking trash information, to be honest. Our research for the deadliest drugs are drugs used in OD and then percentages total deaths. Interesting. Opioids is 67%, 67.8% of drug use deaths, overdose deaths. There's cocaine as the 21%. Wow, that's a big fucking drop from 67 to 21%. Cocaine at 21.2% in the percent of total deaths due to overdose. Psychostimulants is 20.6, so only a little under a percent less than cocaine. And then methadone, which is 4%, 4.03%, which is a really small number. Okay, it's not a small number. It's a 4% is fucking massive for people dying specifically to methadone. That's actually kind of wild. Ooh, shit. Okay, so now I have an opportunity to like make fun of this fucking website. I love when they do this shit where they're like 21.6% or whatever up here, and then they'll do this where they go, the national OD rate is 21.6 deaths per 100,000 residents. Oh, you mean you didn't just fucking say that with a percentage up here? Like I can't fucking read your redundancy? Alright, moving on. I don't know why I had to make fun of that, but I just think it's fucking stupid when they like change the numbers up like it doesn't mean the exact same fucking thing. Among youth and young adults aged 15 to 24 years, the average annual OD rate is 12.6 out of every 100. Yeah, like that's the same 12. Fucking love that shit. That's so funny. Let's find some more basic facts. Um, OD deaths rank just below diabetes in terms of highest death count. That's that's terrifying. Diabetes, something we are still fighting to. I don't think we can. There's no cure for diabetes, right? Like diabetes is still cureless. Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah. Did the research. Googled some things. Fucking does diabetes have? Fucking love people also ask I didn't read this when I was reading the research, but that's fucking funny. So the question that popped up is people also ask does diabetes have no permanent cure? With diabetes, the amount of sugar in the blood increases. Well, there is no permanent cure for it, but the disease can be completely controlled by lifestyle changes, education, and improvement in eating habits. According to medical experts, when the pancreas is damaged for any reason, sugar cannot be digested properly. Yeah, that's fucking wild. And then with all the research on diabetes and advances in diabetes treatments, it's tempting to think that someone has surely found a cure by now, but nope, no cure. Now this is interesting. According to this graph, it looks like drug overdose deaths among age groups. It looks like women overdose from drugs later in their in their like 45 to 50-year-old range. That's when they start doing the drugs that they OD in. Looking like 27.5%. And then men, they die from their drug overdose in their early 20s, or late 20s, early 30s, mind you, at 54%. That's fucking crazy to me. That a whole 20 years later is when the women are, when you'd think that they're all pissed off at us and they'd be dying sooner. Who knows? That's okay. That was bad humor. Oh shit! I can look at deaths per year per state. So like 768 drug overdose deaths per year in Alabama, 132 in Alaska, 1,900 in Arizona, 388 in Arkansas. That's wild to me, the Arizona one, because Arizona's not a huge state, is it? And it's got quite a big number. Let's look at Colorado, which legalized marijuana first. 1,079 overdose deaths per year, and then let's look at places like New York, which have huge populations of like people from many backgrounds. It's like the melting pot of America, New York. We got 3,617 overdose deaths per year. Damn, that's pretty fucking wild in such a tiny state. Uh, Little itty bitty New York. Let's see Oregon. That's where we're from. That's where the state is the OG from. Oh, Oregon. OG. Uh, 615 overdose deaths per year. That's 1% of all of our 1.7% of all deaths are from drug overdose here in Oregon. OD deaths increased at an annual rate of 5.64% over the last 3 years. The OD death rate is 14 deaths out of every 100,000 residents. This is 32.37% lower than the national average. 0.87% of nationwide OD deaths occur in Oregon, so less than 1% is happening here in this fine state of Oregon. Oh, that's actually an interesting. Let's look at the percentage of nationwide OD. New York is 5.1% of nationwide OD deaths. Um, Let's go back to the other one we looked at, which was Colorado, and then where the fuck did you go? There it is. 1.58%. Okay, it's not too bad. California is 8.81% with 6,198 drug overdose deaths per year. That's not that surprising in the city of angels. All right, let's hit home real quick with how many people die from caffeine overdoses, which is something I am genuinely addicted to, have been stuck with for the more than a decade of my life at this point. In 28, wow, this fucking shit is out of date. Can I get something from like 2023? 2019, 2021, caffeine toxicity. Here we go. Maybe we got some more stats here. Caffeine toxicity. Caffeine is a stimulant that has been utilized globally for centuries. Da 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 da. No fucking shit. I guess the short answer is 85% of Americans use caffeine, and apparently researchers have identified 92 reported deaths from caffeine overdose. Total, I guess. And then the researchers believe that around 1/3 of these deaths are likely to be suicide. Uh, I may have an insensitive opinion here, but I genuinely think if you are the one who causes your death, regardless of if it was on purpose or not, that's still considered suicide. You're still killing yourself. If you drank water every day of your life and you were allergic to water and you didn't know you were allergic to water and you died because you were allergic to water and you're drinking water every day, it's a what's the word? It's a suicide, but it's not like tried. You didn't go out of your way to. It's an unattempted suicide. They didn't attempt suicide. They just fucking killed themselves over time. Like, it's not murder. The fucking Earth didn't kill them. What else are we gonna call it, right? But I do see how that can be insensitive, and like they're just going about their lives, and 92 people died from overdosing on caffeine unintentionally, and at least 30 of those they think they did it on purpose. 30, one third of 92, yeah, 30 point whatever percent attempted to kill themselves with a caffeine overdose. That's actually kind of crazy to think about. All right, all right, all right. Let's get into the killing of this episode and fucking finish out with our speed show of Am I the Asshole from Reddit. I am on r slash Am I the Asshole, and I am going to speed through 3, 5, 7, who knows of these, and I'm just going to give my opinion as if I am reading, seeing the cover of a book. I'm just going to be hella judgmental and disrespectful for a moment. Am I the asshole for telling my mother-in-law she won't be seeing my baby after throwing a baby shower for herself? Possibly. No, yeah, absolutely, you're an asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my what the fuck is DIL, daddy-in-law? She eats. No, it can't be. Okay, what the fuck? Skip this shit. Am I the asshole for being truthful with my mother in saying that family vacations were a nightmare with my high needs autistic sister? No, I don't think you're an asshole. You're being honest about your life. Am I the asshole for not inviting my friend's husband to dinner because he eats way too much? Yeah, that's kind of judgmental. You're fat shaming, you piece of shit. Am I the asshole for not inviting someone to New York to New Year's party because of their son? Depends on the circumstance. No, yeah, you're an asshole. Just take the kid. Am I the asshole for uninviting my best friend from my wedding because she kept telling people she dated my fiance first? Ooh. No, you're not an asshole. They're an asshole for going out and saying that shit constantly. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law she should be thankful most of her family just ignored her son's name instead of only complaining that they only showered him with love? Uh, yeah, yeah. Pointing that kind of shit out makes you an asshole. Let's fucking finish it off with. Am I the asshole for keeping my engagement a secret until my friend's wedding? No. Sometimes you gotta keep things private. You're not an asshole. You're just an asshole. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the ADickDid podcast. I really hope you enjoyed this ending of a season, ending of an era. And I hope you'll come back next week for well, maybe we'll take a week off. Who knows? We may. I'm not going to promise anything. We may take a week off before we start the season 2 premiere of ADickDid with our co-host. We are gonna continue our week of or of gaming content. I'm not gonna strict myself into Halo, but most of it's Halo so far. Monday ranked, Tuesday is gonna be something. We don't know yet. It's gonna be something. It's either gonna be a random game every day or it's gonna be Halo story time. We'll find out. Um, what was I saying? Wednesday is this podcast. Yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope you come back after all that rambling. Thursday is Firefight, and Friday is Casual Gameplays on my YouTube channel. I still do resin art, painting, whatever. If you want like physical art media, let me know. I can custom make stuff for you. I just kind of need to know what you want. Again, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful new year. Peace.